Alex, this is a mind-boggling number. We've been preparing for it for quite some time now. But what exactly is driving Apple itself to be the most valuable publicly traded company in the world?
Well, I think there's a number of things. I mean, part of it could just be market irrationality. You see people looking for a place to put their money, and they're like, where am I going to put it? Am I going to put it in hotels? Am I going to put it in cruise ships? No, I'm going to put it in a company that mints money and has reliable growth coming for a long time from its services business. Then you look at the services business. People have been valuing Apple as a hardware company for a long time, and now they're starting to see growth in services, and they're almost going completely on the other way. And they're saying this is a service business company. Now the multiple is above 30, like you would have with a normal software business. And then finally, there's been an uptick in device revenue for Apple. And I think that's probably due to the fact that people are working from home. And they've had to run out and buy devices to allow them to operate from their homes. And so Apple's seen a nice surge in revenue that way. When you put it together, you see why investors are starting to put so much money and value Apple the way they are. The question is, does it make a lot of sense? And that's where I start scratching my head.
So I'm scratching my head, and I'm doing so after taking off the skeptical hat that I've just had on there for a while. The reason why I'm asking is because it seems as though you listed all of these attributes that Apple has ticked off. It seems like Apple cannot lose, but we know that companies just cannot. I mean, they don't win forever. What exactly is Apple's downfall going to be from a valuation perspective, perhaps in the coming weeks and months?
Well, that's really the question with this company. I mean, the thing is, what they're doing right now is they're putting all of their enthusiasm into the services business. And when you think about a consumer, what do they get excited about with Apple? They get excited about the iPhone, right? And so that's what they want. That's what they stand in line for. Nobody stands in line to get Apple's storage plan. Nobody stands in line to use Apple's other services like, Apple News, for instance, or Apple TV Plus. And so now the company is shifting itself from a devices business to a business that emphasizes services in a tremendous way. And so you start asking, okay, are there some risks there? Does it lose a little bit of its luster? Do people realize how much money they're paying to Apple outside of the devices and say, maybe I want to go somewhere else? And I think it is, it's definitely worked out well under Tim Cook. I'll give him that. But the question is this sustainable long term? And I mean, I think you made a great point. We know companies don't stay on top forever, and I certainly don't expect this to keep up for Apple. Maybe it will stay for another year or so, another couple of years. But when you look long into the future, I sort of doubt it.
Services reminds me of this pending lawsuit that Epic Games has against it. It's removed Fortnite, the big video game, from the App Store. How important is something like that in the services thesis at Apple?
Well, I think investors definitely saw the fact that Epic, which is, it's the maker of Fortnite, which is an extremely popular game, has been and it took a shot at Apple. It said, all right, we're not going to play by your rules anymore. We dare you to suspend us. And when you suspend us, we're going to sue you. And Apple said, okay, fine, you're out. And we didn't see any movement from any other companies outside of Epic to push back in any meaningful way against Apple's monopoly on the way that apps work on its services, right? So you saw Facebook and Netflix and Tinder come out and say, hey, we agree with Epic and this is wrong what Apple's doing, but they wouldn't actually make any changes on their own. And so Apple sort of stood steadfast, and it's been met with, this is the biggest challenge it will ever see with its App Store hegemony, or the biggest challenge it's seen to date. Maybe something bigger comes down the road, but it basically stood strong and said, we're not going to deal with this. Sure. And you're out, Epic. And it looks okay. Maybe the legal system will say this wasn't right, but for now, it's been able to survive it. Nobody else came to Epic's defense in any meaningful way, and so investors are like, yeah, this makes sense. Apple's going to be able to handle this.